Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing the power rankings for the summer split for the top lane. I've already done support, all the other roles as well, so go check those out if you want my opinion on those. Real quick, I'll just scan through this. I've already explained this in other videos. This is the 6 different like breakdown system of how I rank each player and the qualifications for where they sit. So if you guys want to pause this, get an idea of kind of what we're going to be doing here, and then we can move on from there. So like I said, we're doing the top lane. We have Someday, Viper, Hanser, Impact, Broken Blade, Licorice, Solo, Ruin, Huni, and Dokla and Alarum, since they were kind of splitting time on Optic / Immortals / I don't know what that team's going to be called. So we'll just start here at the top. Someday, I would consider Someday one of the better supports in the league. Still, I think this meta that's going to be shifting into, hopefully, is sort of more of a top carry, bruiser meta, especially with Mordekaiser coming in. Generally, Riot likes to, when they have a rework, they kind of like to change the meta slightly with hot fixes and patches, nerfs, buffs to kind of fit whatever new champion come out. They did it with Aurelia. They will do it with Mordekaiser as well. So I think that works very, very well for Someday, being in that carry top role. He's gonna feel right at home. And the other person who I would put up in this area as well is going to be Licorice. Now, for me, I think Licorice and Someday are very, very similar. I think they both struggle in certain matchups. We've seen not sort of like a who has the bigger hands in the matchup, and they just kind of smack each other until one person goes, okay, you're the alpha. We've seen teams where they have targeted Licorice, or they've targeted Someday, and Someday seems to do a little bit better with that, so kind of inch him out a little bit above Licorice there. With Hanser, I believe Hanser is a all-star. However, I think he's kind of at the bottom of where the All-Stars could be, possibly going into just a strong, solid pick for a team. Reason why, ever since the Sven and Mithy thing kind of came into TSM, he's gone down a little bit. I think he, being on TSM, no offense to TSM, but it seems to they draw all of the resources out of everybody to kind of fit into the TSM likes to play through mid and through bot lane. They always have, they always will, as long as Bjergsen's there. And Hanser didn't really fit that. Now, the funny thing is that Broken Blade, who I also consider an all-star, is at the top. And you say, well, he plays for TSM. You just contradicted yourself. Let me explain. With Broken Blade, I think he naturally plays more aggressive. And because of that, because of just his mechanical, gifted ability, he can kind of outplay what TSM wants him to do, and he's able to kind of play his own style. And I think that's nice, and it gives him just another dynamic. He can basically, 1v1 anybody in the top lane and either come out equal or on top if it's just those two by himself. And if he drags, jungle pressure up top, that's great, because then Griggs or Acadian is going to, settle in on, ganking bot lane or ganking mid lane and getting those guys ahead. So Broken Blade can basically get himself ahead. And that goes the same thing for Viper as well, who I put in that same area, same category as Broken Blade. Very, very similar players. And I think Viper's going to do the same exact thing. I think you should probably watch my ranking videos to figure out where I ranked FlyQuest and TSM. But I feel like both of these guys are going to be possible picks for, I don't want to say MVP, but most, and I know this isn't an actual word, but most impactful player. I think both of these guys will kind of fit in there, depending on, like I said, depending on how the meta goes, because we can switch over to just playing top tanks, and we'll see how both of these guys go. So Solo, I feel, is sort of a placeholder. He's been he was on Clutch. Didn't do much. Came over to Equifox, kind of put in the same role. I don't think he's really had a moment to shine, and I don't think he's gonna get it now. I think with all of this new top lane talent coming into the league, I think he's gonna get left by the wayside and just kind of gonna be just like a fill-in for some people, which sucks, for anybody. But I think but then also, we haven't seen him actually be on a championship contender team. I mean, he was on Clutch. They finished third, fourth, and that was the last time we really saw him. He's been. Clutch did really bad last 2 splits ago. They weren't great last split. They got 6th place in playoffs. Definitely, I think he's just kind of a placeholder at this point. Dokla and Olram, kind of the same thing. Most Optic players are going to be down in this area just because this organization is going to hit the dumps pretty soon, and we don't know what's going to happen with these players. We don't know who's going to be in the starting roster. We don't know the actual, the attitude of the team and how if people are even going to want to play. So, unfortunately, I think they both go right here. I think they both do have talent and could, end up being good top laners, but we won't see it from Optic this split. Impact. So Impact as well. I think Impact falls into the all-star role. Obviously, you kind of have to put Impact there. I put him right here. I think he's better than Hanser. I think he has way more flaws than Broken Blade and Viper when it comes to, Broken Blade and Viper. I've seen them play tanks, and they do okay. But they generally want to play skirmishing carry top laners. Impact generally plays utility top, and we saw them get picked apart in a few games. They did lose 4 games during the split. But then it also it's like, hey, they only lost 4 games. So how you're kind of nitpicking, and I'm going to nitpick a little bit. But I think he kind of falls right in this area here. I think he has a much better team than everybody else, which is why sometimes it's easier to hide his flaws. But he kind of falls in this area here. Now we have Huni and Ruin. And so for me, Ruin, I believe, goes in this hidden potential area here. I think Ruin is going to end up being a Broken Blade, a Viper type of player someday. He's going to be in that type of role this split, I think, just because not a lot of people are going to be able to play against him. Or they haven't really played against him, maybe in scrims now. But his style is going to be very, very new. And I think even though CLG is not going to make playoffs, in my opinion, I think he will dominate most of the CLG talk. He'll say, okay, well, CLG didn't make playoffs, but they have a bright point in Ruin being very good. Now for Huni, this is probably going to make some people mad, but I think Huni's a strong piece. And I say this is not taking into consideration his career and what he's done, because he is a very, very good top laner. I'm saying for this split, this is my power ranking for this split, and I think he falls in this area. Reason why, this team's also going to go through some changes with the whole Dignitas thing, and I think most of the resources are going to be pulled into top lane, and if they start losing games, we saw it. The first split, last year, Echo Fox was #1 for most of the time with a very not a great roster. They had Dardoch, which was good. They had Huni and they had Phoenix, and then they had they had Altec and Adrian, I think it was, and they ended up doing very, very well, and then they kind of faltered at the end. I think Huni, if they start to lose, which Clutch is going to lose a lot, there's no reason for, Huni's not going to be able to shine very well. Troll picks, he may even get benched. I don't know if that will happen. It's a possibility. But definitely think he's still a strong player, and I think if you put him on a different team with a different coaching staff, a different mindset, I think he could do much better. What team would that be? I mean, no team in the top 4 really needs a top laner. Everyone has a good top laner, so we will see what happens with Huni. But this is my rank for the top laners in the LCS for the summer split. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, please go check out my other power ranking videos so you guys can get a glimpse on what I think of the other roles and the players in those roles. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.